Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I actually wasn't going to film anything today. I'm sure you all can hear my voice is not great. I actually have a little cold, and so I wasn't going to film today, but I came outside to check on the garden, and it's a very, very hot day today. It's one of the first hot days that we've had this year. It's 102 degrees right now. It was supposed to get up to 104, 106 degrees, and my garden is definitely showing it. It is definitely showing signs of stress, but I wanted to pull out my phone and share this with you all because I thought it was a really good reminder of what to do when the heat hits in your garden. If you see my Super Petunia Saffron Finch right here, it looks like they need more water. And I have the urge to turn on my drip irrigation to go get my hose right now and water these plants. However, I'm not going to just yet. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like the hottest part of the day, basically. And I don't know if these plants actually need more water or if they are just adapting to the heat in the middle of the day. Because this is actually what plants will do to protect themselves from the heat. They will actually wilt in the middle of the day to protect themselves. And then once it cools down later in the evening, they'll kind of come back a little bit. So if you see your Super Petunias, or if you see, like, look at my lantana, even my lantana's wilting today. Nothing's happy right now. Everything's pretty stressed right now. And I'm trying not to freak out. Like, it's hard to see, but I'm trying not to freak out and immediately react just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back out once the sun sets, and I'm going to check all the plants that are showing signs of heat stress like this and see if I need to run my drip irrigation one more time today. And I might need to, but I'm not going to do it until later on in the afternoon. So this is just a really good reminder for all of you that if you see your plants starting to wilt midday on a really hot day, just know your plant's doing what it's supposed to do. It's protecting itself, which is a really, really good adaptation that plants take on to protect themselves from the heat. So wait until the sun sets, come back out. If your plants still look like they need a drink of water, then you can give them a drink of water. Another thing to remember with the heat is to water in the morning. If you can water in the morning before the sun comes up, you're going to make sure that the majority of that water gets down to the root system and doesn't evaporate away, which is really important. The last thing that I'll say before I go inside and rest for the rest of the day is remember about not pruning. If you get any scorch, like for instance, if my iceberg rose started scorching on the leaves, the worst thing that I could do right now on a hot day or during a hot spell is prune off the scorched foliage, because that scorched foliage is actually protecting the plant underneath. And if I prune off the scorched foliage, I'm just going to be causing more scorch and more scorch and more scorch. So those are the things I want you guys to remember if you're having a heat wave like we are. Remember, don't water in the middle of the day, or I would say hold back on watering in the middle of the day. It's not like it's a bad thing, but your plant might have enough water already. It might just be wilting to protect itself. Wait until the evening to see if you need to supplemental water because of the heat. And then 2, try and water in the morning if you're going to have a really hot day. And then 3, don't prune during a heat spell, because those scorched leaves, those brown leaves, they are protecting the plant and you want them to stay there. Your garden's not going to look as great as you want it to, but it's okay. It's worth it. Once things calm down and it gets a little bit cooler, it's going to be a lot better. Anyway, I will come back. You're probably going to see me a couple days later, and hopefully my voice is back to normal. Okay, everyone, it's a couple days later from the last clip that you just saw. I am feeling much better, not 100%, but better enough to go to the garden center this morning. It was just like a summer cold, you know, how you get those and it just kind of sticks around for a couple days. So it's nice to be outside and kind of walking around and looking at all these beautiful flowers. And I don't know if you all knew, but I didn't know this. June is National Perennials Month. I don't know who officially designated it as National Perennials Month, but I'm just going to go with it because June is the perfect time to start thinking about perennials in your garden. in April, and in May, we're really focused on annuals, getting as many annuals planted in the ground as we can so that we can enjoy them for as long as possible for one season. But perennials are year after year after year, and it's just something that's really great to add to your garden. For me, annuals are easy. It's like color, you throw it in, it's a piece of cake, but it is something that you have to redo every year, unless they're temperennials, and then you can get away with a couple years of them being in. But perennials take a little bit more thought, and you have to think about the size of it, how big it's going to grow, when it's going to bloom, all that kind of stuff. And now as the garden season is kind of slowing down a little bit, I mean, we're still in full swing, but it's not the rush of spring, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So now that it's slowing down a little bit, I can take a breath and I can really start thinking about the perennials that I want to put in my garden. And so I came today to the garden center to try and focus on some of the perennials. Of course, I'm getting distracted, of course. I did find a whole flat of Sweet Romance lavender, which I just planted a whole bunch of Summer Serenade lavender around my fountain. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Summer Serenade lavender is the new variety of lavender that Proven Winners just came out with. Like, it's their first new variety of lavender in like 20 years or something like that. So I'm super excited to trial that one, but I still love Sweet Romance lavender. It's a fantastic lavender, and I found them in 4-inch cans, which I've never seen them in 4-inch cans. I did find a couple of them in bigger, but I kind of want to go with these and maybe start a lavender hedge. Wouldn't that be super cool? And then for those of you, I'm sure all of you watch Laura at Garden Answer, but she prunes her Sweet Romance lavender. She like hard prunes her Sweet Romance lavender. And I've never actually hard pruned it the way that she does it. So I'm thinking about getting these, putting them over by my lemon tree in my orchard garden, and doing the technique that Laura does and doing hard pruning on the Sweet Romance lavender, just as like a trial to kind of see how it does. So, and I just love this plant. It's so beautiful. It smells so good when you brush up against it. You can't beat it, and it's just a great perennial to have in your garden. Then over here in the sun perennial section, I walked by here and did a double take. I was so excited to see that they have Treasure Trove Rudbeckia. Look at this. I wish these perennials had plant tags. They don't have plant tags, so I can't show you, but I'll put it on the screen right now. So Treasure Trove Rudbeckia is a really special plant, and keep your eye out for it. This, every once in a while, there's like a lot of talk about one certain plant. Like a new plant will come out and everybody will start talking about it. Everybody in the industry will start talking about it. Everyone will start emailing about it. And that's what this Treasure Trove Rudbeckia is. I have heard so much about this plant. I do have a couple of these at home, but I want more of them. I definitely want more of them. They're part of my Easyscape planting scheme that I'm going to be planting back by my greenhouse. And I just really love them. So one of the cool things about these is that they're supposed to bloom like absolute crazy. They're supposed to have so many blooms on them once they start blooming. And Rudbeckia, of course, starts blooming a little bit later on in the season, but then it's one of those really great plants that gives you fall color all the way till first frost. So this is going to be a super cool plant, and I was shocked to see that they have it here because it's new. It's pretty new. I think this is the first year it's actually come out. Anyway, so I'm excited to have that. That's a fun perennial. Okay, then I'm so annoying. I am one of those people that come to the racks before they put the plants out. I know the garden center, I know the workers get so mad at me. Ugh, but they just have so many cool plants that they haven't put out yet. This is Monarda, Leading Lady Monarda, and I have been actually on the lookout for these because my mom has been talking nonstop about this one. She actually planted this in her garden. I don't know if you guys remember, but she has a little garden bed right next to her lawn, and it's kind of like a bog type situation because they water their lawn and then they have the garden bed right next to it. And the Monarda, she said it's like taking over. She said it's absolutely beautiful. It won't stop growing. She's like, it's almost overwhelming that it's growing so fast. So I do have some areas in my garden that I have really poor drainage. And so I was thinking if I put some of this Monarda in it, I thought that would be really fun. And I saw that they had some other colors. So this one is Leading Lady Monarda. But they also have, look at this one, look at this one. Pardon my cerise. There's green shade cloth, so it's kind of, hopefully you guys can see the color of it, but it's just this bright pink, like fuchsia kind of color. I guess cerise is the right way to say it, but it's just really, really gorgeous. And they are just pollinator magnets. I have to get some of these. Here's the two of them right next to each other. So this is this is Leading Lady. Yeah, this is Leading Lady. And this is Pardon My Cerise. And they're both beautiful. I love them both. I might get both, but I gotta get some of these. These are just gorgeous. So like I said, Monardas are really cool because they're the perfect plant to put in a spot that you don't have great drainage, kind of like summerific hibiscus. That's another one that's a great plant to put if you have a spot that doesn't have good drainage, or maybe is right next to a lawn and gets too much overspray. They're just really good problem solving plants. Now, Monardas, the old varieties of Monardas were notorious for getting powdery mildew. And so, you know, I don't want to say don't get the older varieties because I've actually never tried the older varieties, but the newer varieties, especially from Proven Winners, are actually bred to be powdery mildew resistant. So you're going to be much happier with it in your garden because you don't have to worry about powdery mildew. And then the nickname for Monarda, or the common name, is bee balm. And it's just that, I mean, right there, that tells you the bees absolutely love it. Now, this isn't a perennial, but I got to give it a major shout out. This Sunjoy Neo, I actually planted the fast Sunjoy Neo this year. If you have a blank space in your garden, consider this plant. I don't know why I had never planted this barberry before, but just the fact this red color in your garden just is absolutely incredible. I have planted the new variety of this, which is supposed to grow a little bit faster, but I've had plenty of people rave about how great this one is. And then there's also other colors too. Right? There's Sunjoy Gold Pillar, and then there's also dark varieties of the barberry as well. But I just really, really am loving barberry this year. I just think the colors of it are so pretty. Again, not a perennial, so it doesn't really go to the theme of this video, but I just have to point it out. Oh my gosh, I just noticed they have Misty here. So I actually just got one of these. I still have it. I still have to plant it. I got it at Orchard Nursery in Lafayette. This is Misty Salvia. It's a dwarf version of the best perennial there is, which is Mystic Spire's Salvia, or Plain the Blue Salvia is the Proven Winners version. Best perennial you can possibly buy, but this is just a dwarf version. It's just shorter. It only gets about a foot tall, and I'm so excited to plant them, and I'm actually really excited to see more of them here, because that is so fun, because I had a really hard time finding these the last couple of years. So it's fun to see it. I'm not going to get those because I already have one of those at home, but I am going to get these. I've decided I do want to plant some of this Rockin' Fuchsia Salvia in my garden. I don't know if I've told you all my story. I mean, I've told a lot of you, but I don't know if I actually said it on camera or just at my events and talking to people. This plant was actually one of the very first plants that I planted in my garden, my last house. And I bought it at the big box store at the clearance section for $1. It looked like it was dead. The cashier even said to me, "Are you sure you want to buy this? It looks like it's dead." But I took a chance on it. I took it home, I planted it, and it just grew like crazy. It was so happy. It was thriving, and it is still located at my last house that we actually sold. So just in remembrance of that, I kind of want to plant some more of this Rockin' Fuchsia Salvia because it's just so fun and such a great perennial. All right, I have to say, I am pretty happy with my perennial haul today. This was they had a great selection. I am so happy to find these treasure trove Rudbeckia. Go to your garden center and see if you can find these and grab them. I know you can't really see them in bloom yet, but trust me, very, very soon they're going to be in full bloom, and I just think they're going to be really, really cool plant. Just based on the buzz that's going around in the industry on this plant, I'm very excited about it. And then, of course, the bee balm Monarda, that is beautiful. The lavender, I'm excited to try this out. I know exactly where I'm going to put it, which is really fun. And then the salvia, which is just great. So National Perennial Month, I am celebrating. All right, sorry about the air conditioning noise. It's getting warm already. It's 85 degrees and it's only 10 a.m. So it's gonna be a hot, hot day today. I've got a full car of beautiful perennials that I'm hopefully gonna be planting tomorrow. I think I'm gonna feel well enough to get in the garden tomorrow, but I do have to say I'm like out of breath and tired right now, which is ridiculous because I just did plant shopping. But yeah, it's just when you're sick, it is what it is. You got to give your body time to recover. So I'm trying to give my body time to recover, but I would definitely like to be in the garden tomorrow. You can see, I'm sure you can see my tree stakes. I did end up buying some tree stakes because that windstorm that we had a couple weeks ago knocked over a lot of our tree stakes and a lot of our trees. And they still need to be staked up. A lot of our trees we've planted about 1.5 years ago now. And the rule of thumb for staking a tree is you want to remove the stakes after a year. But if the tree is literally falling over, then it's obviously not ready to remove the stakes. And I think a lot of our trees were forced in the garden centers, or they just were a little more flimsy, and they're just not ready to take the stakes off. And I don't stake my trees tight. I keep them loose so that they still move around. So if you didn't know, trees develop stability based on stress and based on moving, and that actually develops the bark, the cambium layer, which gives them stability, which is why you don't want to stake trees for too long. But if the tree's not going to hold itself up, then obviously you need to keep staking it. So a lot of our stakes broke in that windstorm and blew over. So Jason asked me to pick up some of these tree stakes today so that we can actually get them in the ground. So hopefully we can get that done as well. I think today, I think that's going to be it for me today, just because I think I just want to give myself one more day of rest to get over this cold and then get back out in the garden for sure. But anyway, it is National Perennial Month, June. So not to be a bad influence, but go to the garden center and get yourselves some pretty perennials to plant in your garden in June. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.